That's a good touch. There you go. Wow.
I've been waiting for the moment to arrive. Come stand with me down under the stars at night. Come look with me from where I stand. You can see most everything. And I've been waiting for the moment to arrive. I was waiting for the moment to arrive. I was waiting for the moment to arrive. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Everything in your arms and your honor, and the time it takes seems to turn away, but it's time we thought about it, and you feel the pull of the ocean side in the fall. There's a cool.
Hi guys, welcome to another vlog, and this one is the most exciting one yet. Our baby arrived on May 7th and we were just so in love with her. It's like so exciting.
Yeah, and we thought we would do a sit-down video just kind of explaining the birth story because we think it's fun to hear other people's stories and thought we'd share ours.
So for the birth, we made a birth plan with a list of things we wanted or
hoped for.
So we knew what we wanted, but we weren't like too attached to it. So if things didn't go the way we planned, we were like very flexible to change it or just go with the flow.
Yeah, so we thought it'd be interesting to share what we had on our birth plan, and it wasn't anything super specific. A lot of the stuff on it were things that the hospital or the midwives already do. But for pain management, the main thing was that I didn't want an epidural, but if I needed one, I would have one.
You almost changed their mind.
Yeah, during the birth or during the labor, I'm just like, should I consider that epidural? But I was already so far along that I wouldn't be able to get one anyway. I think I was at 9 centimeters dilated. But yeah, so I didn't want an epidural, but I was willing to have other pain medications if necessary or if I needed. And then, we wanted a hospital birth. I just felt more comfortable having it at the hospital just in case anything went wrong. What else? I wanted delayed cord clamping. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google it, but there's a lot of research done showing that it's really good to do.
Yeah, in our case, it took like 8 minutes for the
cord to stop vibrating, and that's when they know that they can cut it. And what else did we have on it?
Skin to skin, which is standard, and it was a very special moment.
So we'll jump right into the birth story. So we'll start at 40 weeks. I was at my midwife appointment and they checked me, and at that point on April 28th, I was only 1 centimeter dilated. And then they let me know that if nothing changed by the end of the following week, that we can start talking about induction and if that was something I was interested in. And at that point, I said that I was probably interested in it, but we'll kind of see what happens. So then they said that they would call me early next week, before I was 41 weeks, just to kind of see what I had decided. So I think it was on the following Tuesday, my midwife called me and asked if nothing happened, if I did want to be induced, and I said yes. Because at this point I didn't want to be pregnant for too much longer, to go past 42 weeks. So I kind of wanted to get things moving. So we made a game plan that I would see her at the hospital to be assessed to see like what method they would use to start like ripening my cervix to then be induced like the next day. So it was on Thursday.
Yeah.
I met her at the hospital, and then they checked me, and I was only 1 centimeter dilated still, so nothing had changed. And then the doctor came in and said that at this point, like inserting a Foley catheter in my cervix would be the best, because it would put like pressure on the cervix to help like ripen it, thin it out. So they put that in, and then she said to come back the next day. So this was come back Friday morning. And then she was like looking at the Foley catheter, and it hadn't fallen out, but she was able to like pull it out. Yeah. And it didn't hurt at all. It was just kind of like weird to have a catheter hanging from myself. But yeah, so then the doctor on call on the unit on Friday came and checked me, and she said, let's try the prostaglandin gel, however you say that. So she ended up inserting that, and my midwife said that it could cause like a lot of cramping, which it did. Like right away I started feeling like a lot of cramping, and then they kept me on like baby monitors for 1 hour after, just to make sure the baby was doing okay and I was doing okay. So after an hour they sent me home. And Gio wasn't allowed to be in the hospital during this time, only when I was actually admitted and in labor. So I got sent home, and then...
So I came home around like 10:30-ish?
Yeah, it was around like 10:30, and then we were just kind of like relaxing and thought like, let's have lunch. So we ended up making a pretty big lunch, and I think like chicken wraps or something.
Yeah.
And then it was around like 12 o'clock, and I was like feeling like more cramping, so I was like lying on the couch, but it was like too uncomfortable, so I said I would go lie down in our bed, and the cramping was just like getting worse and worse. And then at one point I'm just like, I don't know if these are contractions, but like I'm gonna start timing them because they're happening like too frequently. And I started like checking, like I had a contraction counter, and I was realizing that I was getting these cramps every
2-3 minutes.
Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes, and they were lasting over a minute long, sometimes like close to 2 minutes long. And then I kept doing this, and it was lasting like, it happened for over an hour.
Yeah, and then we called.
Yeah, and the midwife said to call if I'm having contractions that are 5 minutes apart and they're lasting 1 minute, at least 1 minute.
Yeah.
So I went to the bathroom, and I was sitting on the toilet, and I got Gio to call the midwife because I was just like in a lot of discomfort. And we told her what was happening, and then she's like, okay, well, let's like head to the hospital now, and I'll see you in 30 minutes. And right after we hung up with her, I just heard this pop and all this like water gushing. So my water broke right then. And then we started like getting our bags together and headed to the hospital. And then more water came out in the car. And then when I got out of the car, more water came out, and I was like squatting right by the entrance, and my midwife walks by. She's like, "Sister, are you okay?" I'm like, yeah. More water just came out, and my mom was there too, so she ended up getting a wheelchair, and then my midwife wheeled me in, and I got sent to an assessment room where they like checked me, and she said I was at a 5 to 6 centimeter of dilation. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, it's go time. And I ended up puking to all of my lunch. I think maybe because of the pain, I don't know. And I was all wet from my water breaking, so I was a mess. And Gio still wasn't there, but then I got...
Well, I was outside in the cold.
Yeah. Was it raining?
No, it's just a bit windy.
Yeah. So he was waiting during this whole time for like an hour, probably.
Yep, almost an hour.
And then when I finally got like admitted, I texted you, and he was able to come in. They just did like a COVID screening, right?
Yeah, and then I went right in.
And yeah, so that's when things like started feeling real. And
so yeah, I got in like around 4. Like, yeah, and then what was it, like 5? Yeah, around 5 you were dilated to 7. And then
So things were like progressing really quickly.
and then they gave you the fentanyl for
Yeah, and then I felt like I needed something to take the edge off. So they offered fentanyl for like pain management, and I really liked it. It didn't really take away from the contraction pain, but it helped to like help me relax in between and just kind of, I don't know, calm me, I guess. And I had asked for some later as well, but she said I was at a 9 centimeter, and I guess they don't
give it if it's too close
to when you're gonna be giving
pushing.
birth.
Yeah, because if the baby is born with fentanyl, they can be a bit lazy and
Can affect their breathing.
yeah, they would take a bit longer to start breathing, so it's not good.
So, yeah. What else?
Well, that was around 5, I guess,
Yeah.
that you were going to get the second one, but then 5:30, and then 5:30 she checked you again, and you were like 9.5. Basically, around 6, the pushing started. That was crazy.
Yeah. So I started pushing at 6, and then our baby was born at 6:40, right?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was.
Well, not for me.
Yeah, yeah. How can you say? But yeah, things like from what stories that I've heard, your first pregnancy and like birth is usually like 12 to 24 hours long, but things happen pretty quickly, and
yeah, it turned out you didn't even need to be induced, like with the...
oh yeah, so the gel and the catheter were just like to ripen my cervix, and then I was going to be induced like the following day, but the gel really started things up and put me right into labor. So our baby was born in the OP position, or also known as the sunny side up position. So I guess she wiggled that way last minute, I'm not sure, but her face like was face up, which makes the labor a little bit more difficult and can create more tearing, which it did. So after she was born, when she was being born, they had to do an episiotomy, which you can Google if you want. And then I ended up tearing kind of bad in, I think, like 3 spots. So after she was born and she was getting like assessed, then the doctor came in and stitched me up. But it was so surreal, like once our baby was born and they put her on my chest. Like, I'm not really a huge crier, but like right away we were both crying, and it was just like the most...
Her first cry was like...
Yeah, and at the beginning of this video, you'll hear her cry, and she has a good set of lungs. Like, she's loud. She's half Brazilian. But that was like the most special moment, and everything else that happened before was forgotten, basically.
Yeah, it was just like about her at that moment.
Yeah, and just like surreal, like you just feel this baby moving in your belly, but like to actually see her, and she seemed very alert, like she was looking at us.
Yeah, like when I was filming her, she was just like looking around.
Yeah, and she was wrapping her fingers around your finger and kind of like trying to lift her head, and she did lift her head, and just, I don't know, she was more alert than I thought like she would be. But she hasn't changed. She's still like that, and it's awesome.
Yeah, we love her.
So we thought we'd introduce you to our baby.
So this is our baby Malu. She was 7 pounds 15 ounces, 48 centimeters long, full of love and energy when she was born. As you can see in the video. We love her so much.
Baby.
Oi! Say hello! Hello, oi! Oi, pessoal!
And when we're filming this, she's 2 weeks old today.
Yeah.
And she's way past her birth weight. Hey, baby.
So yeah, that's all for today's vlog. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next vlog. Stay tuned.
Ciao.
Bye.
Girl, perfectly hurt, broken hurt, soft and asleep in the morning gray. Shake off the night and don't hide your face. The sunlight